guys, and welcome back. So tonight we are going to tell you guys our story about what I experienced with Femi's family when we first got together. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. Okay.
What's up, people? Where do I start? So, what's the topic of the video, babe? Telling them about how...
What I went through. What I went through.
Well, I wouldn't know what you went through because I'm not you.
Okay, well, okay,
I can give them the situation.
I will
tell them about the situation.
And then I will tell them what I went through.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay.
Okay, good one.
I keep it short and sweet.
Okay, well, we got to get into the details, though. Details are important.
How much details are we talking about?
All the details.
Okay. So, I'll start off with how we met.
Yeah.
Met at work. You know, we were working at the same place. I still work there. She doesn't anymore. She's moved on. And we grew. We kind of grew on each other. It wasn't love at first sight. We said that before in another video.
Yeah.
But we kind of got to know each other, and we eventually did fall in love.
Quick.
You think that was quick?
Yes.
Maybe I do fall in love kind of quick. Anyway, it didn't seem quick to me. I felt like, usually when you know what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But it was quick. So, it was quick.
Yeah, so we started things. We hit off pretty fast, and things were moving along, and we kind of felt like we felt the same way about each other. We felt real strongly about the relationship, and we felt like we had been through. Well, we dated for how many months?
Before we got married?
Well, before we got serious. Like, when did we get serious? Was it like the first month we got serious?
It was quick.
She damn near moved in after the first couple of weeks.
I did not move into your place. He is forever telling people that I moved into his place.
Hold on.
Lady, no.
Okay.
Ladies, I have my own apartment.
But you never stayed there.
It doesn't matter. I was paying rent on my own apartment, okay?
You paying rent, but you was staying with me.
I don't care. I have my own place. Just because I stay over, and the only reason why I was staying over his place is because it was closer to work, and we worked together, and we carpooled. But trust and believe, every month I was writing my check for my rent, so I did not live with him. Anything hit the fan.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. That's not okay. You tell me. You tell me what you think. Is that because we keep going back and forth to this day? Yes, I say I didn't feel like I was living with him because at any time I could have gone back to my apartment. So that's not living.
The question is, where were you at the time?
What you mean?
Like, where did you stay? Where did you sleep at night?
Sometimes at your place, sometimes at mine.
No, but when we started carpooling together, where did you sleep?
At your place, but that's not living. Was my
How many
mail,
days a week?
Was my mail?
Wait. You answer my question first. How many days a week?
5 days a week.
You lived there.
No. Was my mail going to your place?
That's besides the point.
Was my mail going to your place?
That's besides the point.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Anyway, we digress.
Yeah, because he's forever telling people we live together. I didn't live with him, okay? I had my own spot. We're gonna agree to disagree. Okay, we will.
Yeah.
Okay, so he tells me, babe, I want you to meet my sister. I have a sister that lives here. I have a brother that lives. Well, I knew the brothers live here because the brother was at the place. So I want you to meet this is before I even moved in. I want you to. Excuse me, I digress. Before I used to stay with him, I didn't move in. So he said, I really want you to meet my sister. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do this. I'm all excited.
Keep in mind, at this point, I thought my sister was real cool about whoever I was with.
Wrong.
I found some other things out later, but...
Okay, so I get there to the house.
I hope she never watches this video.
Well, she knows it.
She will be so hurt.
She won't be hurt because she knows the deal. She won't be hurt. She knows it. Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I hope she doesn't watch it, but anyway. Okay, so I get to the house. She was very nice. She was like, hey, how you doing? Just very, very nice. I'm like, oh, hi, I'm great. Everything was fine. So I'm thinking, okay, this went pretty well because his mother and father didn't live in the U.S. And basically the sister is the oldest of the 5, and she's like the matriarch of the family.
She thinks she's the mother.
Yes, and I understand that. You know, you're the oldest. You are basically, you know, looking over your brothers here in the U.S. I understand that. Everything went fine the first time. Then all of a sudden it was like a 180. I'm like, I mean, just I'll let you tell that. And then,
well, here's what happened.
Yeah.
She's I love her to death. She's a sweetheart. She has some control issues. Yes. Yeah. And she's sometimes aware of it and sometimes she's not aware of it. You know. So she basically had a vision for where she thought this relationship should go. And as soon as she felt like it wasn't going there, she had a fit. Like, she had issues. You know, it's like first thing that came up.
Catholic.
Why aren't you getting married in the Catholic church?
I was not Catholic.
You are Catholic.
He was Catholic. I am not Catholic. Although I'm very familiar with the Catholic religion because I have gone to Catholic schools. And
I will give her credit for this.
Since kindergarten. So I'm familiar with, you know.
You gave it a chance.
I did. I gave it a chance. I gave it my all. A shot for months, right?
Yeah, I don't know about months. Went a couple times. Maybe a month. Maybe a month.
That's pretty decent. Yeah. That's a good. Yeah, that is good. That's pretty decent. And I was like, look, this is not for the kid, okay? So that was a strike against me. That was like, boom, strike.
So, and we actually did try for a while. You know, I, for some reason, I was so hell-bent on really making my family happy.
That's what his problem
and being
was.
Happy. And it's like my happiness depended on their happiness.
That's so
And that in itself was a problem.
It was.
Which brings us back to the story. So basically what happened was, these issues with the Catholic Church kept coming up. You know, you guys need to go talk to a priest. And then we went to talk to the priest, and the priest sat us down and he talked to us about how, you know, the fact that, you know, she's not Catholic, it's an issue, and all these other things. And they wanted to do like a freaking background check, like she was some ex-con, find out about her past and who she had been with and all this other stuff. And it was starting to get a little uncomfortable. So at that point I'm like, you know what, this is a little too much. Maybe we're not going to do this in the Catholic Church.
Exactly.
And I was like, you know, and then I had additional pressure coming from my dad.
That's where it all came in.
That's the one that really hit me. So my sister, who is pretty much, you know, like I said, she is a mother. I mean,
the matriarch.
My mother's not deceased or anything, but she's at this point, she's kind of stepped back and she doesn't really pry into anybody's business. But the oldest one has taken up her role as a mom, and she pretty much wants to oversee everything. So she kind of got in my dad's ear, and he had this whole approach of, you know what, you're going to do things our way, or we're going to back off, and we're just going to cut you off. You know, you need to step back with this, because at this point I had proposed, hadn't I?
Yeah, we're engaged, and at this point we had picked out our venue for our wedding. We had put down deposits for our venue. We put down deposits for our photographer. Basically, we put about $5,000 down, okay? My bridesmaids had already put deposits on their dresses. I had my dress, you know, picked out. My deposit was on my dress, everything, pretty much. Because at this point, the wedding was going. So then his father said that he needs to make a trip to the U.S. to meet me, which I completely understand. So he gets to the U.S. and evidently they had a family meeting. And I was informed that we all gonna meet. So I'm under the impression that, okay, we're just gonna meet to, you know, meet each other for the first time.
Like, she's still going down. We're just getting together to get to know each other.
Yes. So I will never forget this, okay? So it was my father-in-law, my sister-in-law, her husband, Femi's uncle wife. So was, and Femi.
His wife was there?
Yes, from Rhode Island. Yes, I remember this. So it was 6 of them, and it was just me. So we meet at Femi's uncle's place. And we're in his place.
The ambush.
It was an ambush, dude. An ambush. Okay. Yes. Did you know about the ambush?
I didn't know it was gonna be an ambush. I just thought, what is the fuss about?
But did you know it was gonna be an ambush? Now that you're on camera, did you know it was gonna be an ambush?
I didn't know.
Okay, because
I was just as clueless as you
okay,
were. I just thought,
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to believe him. So we get.
You thought I knew they set you up and I was in on
Dude,
it?
I was set up, dude. No, I don't know. I didn't think you. No.
You probably thought I was part of it, didn't you?
I don't know what I was thinking, dude. I was pissed as. I was hotter than fish grease, okay? Like my boy LD would say, hotter than fish grease. Okay. So we get there, and all of a sudden the conversation changes to my son really doesn't know you, and
Oh, wow.
I remember this.
What was I saying this whole time?
Not a damn thing. Like a pussy. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But I'm pissed off because I remember this shit like it was yesterday. I'm sorry. 'Cause I cut him off.
I was a puss?
Yeah, you was, dude. Ooh. I mean, sorry. I'm very sorry. But yeah, I'm getting the flashback. It's not funny, dude. I'm pissed off. Okay, so his father's doing all the talking. Everybody's looking at me. Just imagine.
Oh,
I remember.
like
Yeah, you remember that, don't
I was 24 as a kid.
So what?
I was oblivious to a lot of shit.
You remember? Your memory is not. So I'm sitting there, and they're sitting like. Ooh, you really messed me up. They're sitting on the opposite side, and his father started talking and saying, my son doesn't know you, and I think it's best that you two call off the wedding.
Wow.
He didn't say anything.
Yeah,
I was so.
I didn't.
I was so hurt.
Okay, can I step in and talk real quick? Can I defend myself?
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Since I'm a pussy on camera.
Yeah, you were. Sorry, but you were.
So here's the deal.
You remember now.
Yeah. Well,
I remember it. Oh, I
didn't realize.
I'll never forget it.
How unmanly I acted at the time. I acted like a straight kid, like she said, like a pussy. And I think my explanation is, at the time, I was still very dependent on my dad as far as decision making goes. Even though financially I was slowly, because all my life I've been dependent on my dad. I mean, he paid for my college, all that stuff. So, I usually deferred to him when it came to making decisions, which is not the best, because as a kid you want your own independence. So for me, he seemed like the one person that you never went against, because it's like, man, this is your backbone. If he says no, it's no. Because at the time I had no spine of my own. So when he started saying these things, I'm like, man, if your backbone doesn't agree with this, then this can't be right. So at this time, I'm all mind screwed, because I'm like, yo, this dude, typically when he says don't do, I don't do. I was just raised like that. So anyway, so that was probably why I didn't say anything at the time, because I was probably just looking like, wow, this is really serious. This is probably, maybe this is not the right thing, because the man just said it's not the right thing. So I'm like, maybe I should take a step back. All the while forgetting what I had discovered on my own, what I had come to like, what I had fallen in love with, and just totally disregarding that. Like, no, the man says this can't be right, so this can't be right. So, like a punk, at the time, I guess I didn't see anything at the time.
You didn't say one
word. And then I came back to you after.
Okay. So, yeah, let me step in. So, I'm looking, when he was saying this to me, I blocked him out, and I'm looking at him. He didn't say anything, so I got my confirmation. So, I bounced up out of there, and boom, went to my place. So, I would say, at this point, nothing was discussed. And then at work, because at this point I guess I had went to his place, got my stuff, and went to my apartment, whatever the case may have been. But I know I was back at my place. And then at work one day, he, maybe about, I would say 2 to 3 days later, because this was on a weekend, so say about a Wednesday, he's like, let's go to Chili's. I will never forget.
Chili's?
Yeah. I remember it. Yes. When things happen in your life, you will remember things that are, what word am I trying to use?
Critical turning points.
There you go. Critical turning points. Yes, I remember this like it was yesterday. So I agree, because I'm thinking he came to his senses, you know. So we get to Chili's. This man okay. The boy at the time told me.
Thank you. That's much better.
Yeah, that's much better, because you have definitely come a long way. At the time, he told me, I think we should take a step back and start dating again.
Take a step back from being engaged.
Engaged.
Come on, son. What were you thinking?
So, like the person that I am, I said, I don't think so. Have a nice life, and it's over, basically.
Yeah,
cut him off.
Snip, snip.
Yeah, I'm not, come on, are you serious?
So here I am. Okay, my turn.
Yeah.
So here I am thinking, okay, yeah, you know, she's mad. She's probably gonna call me tomorrow. We'll take it, you know, we'll slow it down. We'll go from being engaged to just dating. Like that really happens. That's how naive I was. So, you know, first couple of days, I'm like, oh, she's still mad. She needs some time to get over this. A week went by, another week.
And keep in mind, we worked in the same place.
So we're seeing each other and not talking.
I didn't say anything. Like, I didn't know. I'm good at, when I cut people off, I have always been, and this is not a good thing. I have always been good. When I cut you off, you cut off.
Slice and dice.
I mean, it's a wrap. Yeah. I've always been like that, and trust me, guys, it's not the best approach. But I don't know. I just always been like that. So when he told me that, he was sliced and diced. Don't get me wrong, I loved him, but look, I'm sorry, it was a wrap.
She was hurting.
So weeks went by.
So yeah, here's when the moment of truth, the growth, came to fruition. So here I am, you know, after this transpires, you know, I'm not seeing her, I'm not hearing from her, and she's not calling me back. And at this point, after a couple of days, you start to realize this person's moved on. Yeah, well,
weeks.
I don't think I let it go that long.
It was a good couple of weeks.
It probably felt like it. It wasn't more than 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
It probably was about a week and maybe a couple of days.
Oh, okay. It was,
so,
okay.
So in that time, that's before I actually reached out to her. In that time, I had, I paid a visit. My dad had gone back to Nigeria. He'd left, you know, and I paid a visit to my sister because she lived here at the time. And, you know, went to her house and, you know, was kind of sitting there, and I was thinking to myself, so, you know, so I'm looking to these people that basically told me that the only decision that I felt like was the best decision of my life was the wrong decision. So at this point, I'm like, okay, so what do y'all think I should do now? Because I'm clueless as to where to go from here. Do you have anything better for me? And they're just looking at me like, no, dude, we just told you that was the wrong decision. We don't care what you do next. So I started to realize that everybody else was moving on with their lives. But I had paused my life because of everybody else. And dude, it was weird because I would go home, you know, I'd call them, nobody was calling me, nothing, and then I'd go home and I'd be like, I couldn't sleep. I remember that very well. It was a couple of nights where I was up all night, like thinking. And then I think it was in that moment that I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, you have a decision to make here. You either go pursue what it is that you want, or you continue to live for these people who are clearly living their own lives, you know. And I think right there, that's when the decision was made. I was just like, you know what, no, it's time for me to start living for me. And it's okay if she doesn't take me back, but I'm gonna give it a shot because I want her back. So I reached out to her, and yeah, I don't know, what'd you do? You answered? Yeah, you did.
Yep, I answered.
Yeah, so...
But I didn't make it easy.
No, she didn't make it easy. And I didn't care if she wasn't going to make it easy. Because at this point, I was just like, you know what? I'm doing me now. You know, forget everybody else. And I think before I even reached out to her, I called my dad. I finally called. I made one of the hardest phone calls to make. But you know what? It wasn't hard anymore. Because I was hurting so bad. And I was so ready to, like, really end this phase of my life and really start moving on. So I called my dad. You know, I called the man who has never stared me wrong. He's always told me the right thing to do, and he's always been right regardless, you know. So I called him up and I told him, I said, you know what? this may be our last conversation because you did tell me you were going to cut me off if I went with this girl. And I'm calling to let you know that I'm going to go ahead and I'm making that decision. I'm going to go with her. So this may be our last conversation. So is there anything else you want to say to me before you totally cut me off as a son? It's like, I wish you the best. And that was the end of the conversation. Click. And I'm thinking, you know, typically the way I used to feel, I probably would have been like, wow, my life just ended. He's cut me off forever. But I felt like a load was off. Because at this point, it was all on me. And now I was able to go chase what I wanted without having to worry about having to, you know, just having to worry about anything else. It's like I can go do me, you know, and I want this girl back. You know, so I didn't feel like anything had happened. I just, if anything, I felt liberated. I felt like I found a new me. Like, wow, you could really tell him how you felt, and it didn't matter that he just hung up the phone and told you were cut off. So it was a good thing for me. I think that in itself has been huge. So, you know, I called her back, and, you know, I think we met up a couple times.
Yeah.
You know, she didn't make it easy. You know, but clearly we're here today.
Yeah.
You know, it took one day at a time. She was very skeptical going forward. She, you know, she told me about there were a lot of rules going forward. If we're going to do this again, I remember her telling me, here are the things that are going to have to change. You know, when we make a decision, the decision is made.
Yeah, that was the main thing.
Forget what your family, because that was an issue. That was an issue. We would talk about stuff, and I would come back and be like, yo, you know, we just agreed that we were going to do this yesterday, but such and such was asking a family member, why didn't we do it this way? Yeah, I'm guilty of that. Mm-hmm. And she told me, she said, look, if this is going to work out, that's got to go.
Yep.
Once we decide that we going to jump in fire together, it don't matter what anybody else says, we're doing it. So, yeah. And to be honest, I think for me, once I made that decision and once I realized that I had a life partner, a life buddy, a BFF, a wife, a lover, you know, I mean, guys, you don't understand. I've gained so much. It was a hard lesson learned, but I think it's made us better. There's other things that we've been through that have made us stronger, you know, but at the same time, I think that was one key, you know, major event. Yeah. And, you know, as life would have it, once we chunked the deuces to everybody and we're like, we're moving on and we're getting our own lives, they came around.
One thing, closing this video, I will say, to family's defense, they have, for example, his father have definitely come to me and said that, you know, I am so happy you married my son because I see the difference in him, in the growth that he has made, and, you know, you two are great for each other. So he has told me that on several occasions, and I love my in-laws, you know, even with the struggles that I went through in the beginning, you know, it really set the stage for a good relationship now. Okay, guys, so that's our story, and I hope you enjoyed the video.
Till next time.
Till next time.